That's new.
Yeah, it is new.
A little bit your FBI agent.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. The Southeast Polk Board of Education. It is 5:30 p.m. Karen, can I get a roll?
Crab,
Here.
Fisher, Nave, Slings,
Here.
Crowell,
Here.
Powell,
Here.
Handy,
Right, looks like we have quorum. 1B, agenda adoption. Dr. Lopnik, are there any changes? to the
There are none.
agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Karen?
Slings,
Yes.
Crowell,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Crab,
Yes. All right, 1C, district vision and mission. Adam, would you? read that,
Absolutely.
please?
Southeast Polk will learn, lead, live, success for college, career, and civic life, and engage all students in learning challenging curriculum delivered through quality instruction.
Well done. So we're on 1C, or sorry, 1B, public comments. This is the opportunity for the public, for our citizens to provide feedback and commentary. Kevin, do we have any entries on the Google form? Okay. Okay, do we have anyone in person?
Don't think so. It's too nice of a day to be cooped up inside. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, so.
I don't know if I'd call it nice, but okay.
I mean, it is the surface of the sun, but still.
Yes.
All right, well, let's keep moving then. 1E, consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Seconded.
All right, any discussion? Okay. Karen?
Crowell,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Crab,
Yes.
Fisher, whoops, sorry. Crab, who did I forget? Slings,
Yes. I vote yes.
thank you.
Karen, Tom has joined us now.
Thank you.
All right, so on to old new business. Letter A, confirmation of next meeting.
Motion to approve the next meeting dates.
July 15th.
Yes, correct.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Karen?
Powell,
Yes.
Crab,
Yes.
Nave,
Yes.
Slings,
Yes.
Crowell,
Yes.
All right, 2B, set date for public hearing for land exchange, and I think this is a reset. Is that correct? That's correct. Anything else that you'd like to share?
We're just waiting for some of the legal paperwork and applications.
Motion to reset the date of the public hearing for July 15th to discuss the proposed land exchange with the owners of Toad Valley Golf Course.
Second that.
All right, Karen?
Crab,
Yes.
Nave,
Yes.
Slings,
Yes.
Crowell,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
All right, on to 2C, public hearing for easements. It is now 5:34 p.m. And I will now open the public hearing to receive comments on the easement of the multi-purpose stadium for the city of Pleasant Hill. Do we have any received, have we written any received comments?
Yeah.
Is there anyone present wishing to provide comment? Okay, we'll just give it a minute here. See if anyone thinks of anything they want to comment on. It's a little different with the, without the online portion. All right, well, the public hearing is now closed. The time is 5:35 PM. All right, 1D, approved easement agreement with the city of Pleasantville.
Motion to approve the easement agreement and agreement with the city of Pleasant Hill.
Second that.
Have the attorneys approved or reviewed everything? Everything's in order
They have,
legally that needs to be?
yep, the city of Pleasant Hill has already approved this on that end.
And we're not under any obligation to put up any money to finish any other items off that we don't know about.
Not that we're aware of at this time.
Very good. Well, the attorneys would have pointed that out, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
In addition to that, we did receive word from the city of Pleasant Hill staff that the bid amount for the east-west sidewalk has been approved by them. We will be reimbursed for that.
we'll be reimbursed for the sidewalk?
Correct.
Oh, good.
That was from the get-go.
Huh?
That was from the get-go. That was from the beginning.
That's good.
Yep.
I like that. We can pay for more parking spaces now. I'm kidding.
Any other questions, comments? All right, Karen?
Nave,
Yes.
Slings,
Yes.
Crowell,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Crab,
Yes. All right, 2E, 2021-2022 handbook changes.
Move to approve. Second that.
I know there were some questions last time. Is there anything you want to review again?
No, I still disagree with the headwear, but that's about it.
Any other changes since our last meeting?
Nothing I'm aware of.
Karen?
Slings,
Yes.
Crowell,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Crab,
Yes.
Nave,
No,
All right. 2F, food and nutrition dairy award.
Motion to approve the one-year extension with Anderson Erickson Dairy using the escalator pricing during the 21-22 school year.
Do we have a second?
Second.
And this is an extension from the agreement that we started in 2017, 2018. Right. Any discussion?
love me some AE.
It's good to know. All right, Karen?
Crowell,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Crab,
Yes.
Nave,
Yes,
Slings,
Yes.
All right, on to 2G, food and nutrition bread award, 2021-2022.
Motion to approve the food and nutrition bread award, and this is shocking, this new award to a new company. I'm sure Mr. Handy's gonna be sad to miss this.
Limbo. Limbo. This is Pan of Gold.
Correct.
Awesome.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions, further comment? All right, Karen?
Crowell,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Crab,
Yes.
Nave,
yes,
Slings,
Yes.
So 2H, Food and Nutrition Prime Vendor Award of 2021 and 2022.
Motion to approve the Prime Vendor Award for 21-22.
We have a second?
Second.
Oh, this is a renewal extension also, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't say that, but amending my motion.
Any questions? Karen?
Powell,
Yes.
Crab,
Yes.
Nave,
Yes.
Slings,
Yes,
Krell,
Yes.
Right, on to 2I, Food and Nutrition Preventative Maintenance 2021, 2022. Motion.
Move to approve the one-year extension with Commercial Services Innovation for preventative maintenance and service for the 2021-2022 school year.
Second that.
Discussion. All right, Karen?
Powell,
Yes.
Crab,
Yes.
Nave,
Yes.
Slings,
yes,
Krell,
Yes.
All right, 2J, Interfund Transfer, Food and Nutrition Fund to General Fund. We have Mr. McCom here to explain. the
Thank you,
numbers.
Mr. Crab. As we do every year, we have indirect costs that sit in our general fund that need to move back to food nutrition fund. The indirect cost rate this year is 12.88%. This is a component of other federal funds we receive. In the past couple of years, we have transferred about 120,000 or so. This year, our max transfer can be 317,000 because of CARES related funding is a component of that calculation. But with how we had intermittent school and how we did remote learning, things like that, right now we have about $30,000 to transfer this year from general fund back to food service. So it's just something that's a formality that we do. These are things that we normally account for in food service funds, but we can't based on their accounting.
so
policies.
basically you're just moving about 30.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I make a motion? Is that what this needs to
Yes,
happen?
yes,
Okay.
please.
Motion to approve the interfund transfer from the food service fund to the general fund for the lesser of the indirect cost amount or the actual amount of the identified administrative costs in the food and nutrition department.
Second.
Any questions, comments? All right, Karen?
Crab,
Yes.
Nave,
Yes.
Slings,
Yes,
Krell,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
All right, that concludes the action portion of our meeting. On to the topics for discussion. Letter A, Dr. Loveday.
You bet. If it's okay with the board, I'll give my report from right here rather than take the time to walk down. I want to start with a few pieces of good news, and the first one is actually sitting in front of us. I wanted to officially welcome our student board member for this year, Natalie Lewis. This is her first meeting, and
welcome.
welcome aboard.
You're in for some serious entertainment this year. Okay.
I am so sorry.
You're prepared. Should be a lot better this year.
Welcome, Natalie. You bet. A couple things. Even though it feels like it was months ago, it's only been a couple weeks now, but just wanted to revisit graduation for 1 second because it was such a perfect evening and a really positive, nice way to end a tough year. And I just wanted to thank everybody who was involved with that because I just think it was, like I said, a perfect night. Mentioned in just kind of small talk before the meeting, we are over 77% of our families that we're aware of right now have completed the registration process. So that's way far ahead of where we would normally be. And that's a good thing because as we've talked about at length, as we move into this fall, the better handle we have on our numbers, the better off we're going to be moving forward. So that's a real positive thing. Grab and go meals started this week for the summer. Those are free for anyone ages 1 to 18, distributed on Mondays and Thursdays at Altoona Elementary and at the junior high. The Thursday package also includes meals for the weekend. So again, hats off to food service for the job they're doing there.
How many did they give out this first week?
I don't have that
Okay.
number yet, but Amy, I'm sure will be giving us.
Update us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Explain that on the numbers, but there was a significant drop in number of visits.
Okay. Then last year?
Yes.
Okay.
Another thing that I'm kind of excited to share you have at your spot, and that is a calendar for board building visits for next year. I did amend this from the way we've done it in the past, rather than just once a month. I wanted us to be able to get to every building next year since we had to take a year off. So you've got a schedule there for board building visits with the idea that we'll be able to get back to that next fall. Another piece of good news, I did share with you a week ago in writing, but just in person, wanted to make sure that we recognized our business department for the reception of the comprehensive annual financial report certification of excellence, 19 years in a row for Kevin in the business department. And I think that's outstanding for transparency in financial records. Excellent.
Bravo, business department.
And then one final thing, and this will be news to you. We are planning just a brief stadium groundbreaking ceremony next Thursday morning at 8 o'clock out at the stadium site. We will have hard hats and gold shovels for everybody that can be there. We'll be talking more, and maybe Karen can shoot an email to check to see availability for everybody. So, but the contractors will be on site tonight or tomorrow morning, and there will actually be some earthwork and demolition early next week, and Thursday is kind of when they'll kick in. So that's where we are with the timing. Beyond that, meetings, the normal, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
I'm excited about this building visit schedule. Yeah, 'cause I feel like we got through maybe 4 or so buildings, and
Then we got frozen.
then
Yeah, yep. It'll be nice to get back.
All right, if there's nothing else, we can move on to the monthly financial report. Mr. McCall.
Thank you. 19 years, that's nearly half my age.
I don't think so.
That's more than half mine, so.
Real quickly with the May monthly financial, sorry for the late distribution of this.
Yeah.
But we normally close, like I mentioned in the email, around the 5th of the month, and we had some people gone. So regarding May relative to what April was, there's not very much as far as changes, and you had significant increases or decreases. But overall general fund, overall up revenues 8.1%, expenditures up 7%, following the same trend as has been all year long. All funds without bonds, revenues up 5.3%, expenditures up 11.1%. We continue to analyze some of the costs we have right now. I've been talking with Mr. Taylor, our special education director, kind of sorting through those special education costs as well. Reviewing the balances and such for grants, as we have auditors that have done their preliminary work, and then we'll be on site next week. So those things are going as we speak. I know you just got these, so I won't ask for questions, but if you have questions about this, please email me those questions.
I have a question,
Yes,
believe it or not, even though it isn't retained to your report. Have you guys gone over the money that the district is expected to get from the federal funds?
The third pot,
Yes.
the American Rescue Plan, ESSER 3 is what we call it. We have gone over it. We continue to speak amongst our school business officials group. We can continue to speak and consult with the Department of Education. So we do have some things in play that we'll be spending money on, but we continue to talk about what is allowable and what's not allowable. Yes, does that
Okay,
answer your question?
just to make sure that you stay on top of that.
Yep.
We have a Department of Ed Superintendent statewide meeting on Monday of next week that's dedicated just to that topic.
We've had several different webinars with Department of Education. We have one coming up in a couple of weeks with them as
Okay.
well. Again, just to review that, we have just under $4 million of CARES 3 or ESSER 3 funding. 20% has to be used for lost learning. I forgot the term, I apologize, there's a different term that we're using for that, but the rest of that can be used for any kind of CARES related allowable expenses. I mentioned auditors being on site next week. And then from a print shop perspective, we are coming up on the last of our 4-year agreement. As you recall, we did a complete revamp within our buildings with copiers and walk-up machines. We did a revamp within our print shop with the larger printing models and things of that nature. We're going to extend the walk-up machines in our buildings 1 more year because there's still life in those machines. We are going to replace the print shop copiers to a, Mr. Kerr, if you can help me out with this, to a more advanced technology where we can print more for a cheaper type machine. Our lease costs, as we lease these machines, our lease costs will actually go down for these machines.
Awesome.
How long's the lease?
The lease for that will be 1 year, but we hope to push that forward then for additional years beyond that,
Okay.
the 5th year.
For a savings.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Use
Always
the word
savings.
savings.
Always savings. Yes.
This looks good.
Any
Thank you.
questions?
Thank you.
All right, 3C, FY22 legislative priorities.
You bet. Because the legislature worked overtime this year, it feels like they just finished because they kind of did. But it's that time of year again where we need to put together our priorities and push them towards IASB so they know where we stand. I've attached to the agenda last year's resolutions and belief statements. And I will send you out a survey probably on Monday, possibly tomorrow. And give you a chance between now and the July 15th meeting to take a look at that and identify what your priorities would be. I'll collect that data like usual, come up with the top 4, share it with you, and we'll bring it back to that July meeting. And we can then have Karen send that over to IASB.
How successful was IASB in their lobbying group this year? I'm guessing not at all. Would it be
Yeah.
better for us to try and articulate that from a more local perspective than since we've got them in our backyard as opposed to trying to rely on?
Yeah, I think all the above. I think, yeah,
Okay.
advocacy on all different levels.
I just,
No,
I am baffled this
I
year.
usually give a stand-up speech every meeting and I've given up on,
Well, I am baffled and frustrated by this last year where apparently every school in the state of Iowa is all the size of a rural school with 700 kids total K through 12. And that's how we should do our business based on what the legislature believes, as opposed to school districts like us, which are 10 times that size. Heaven help you think that we have, different ways of doing things because of our size. So it's just a little frustrating that we participate in this and yet apparently it never meets the mark. So
I don't think it's met the mark in the last 10 or 11 years. So I'm not going to stand here and talk to the audience that isn't here anymore. But yeah, where it matters is who people elect at the Capitol. And until people start paying attention to who they elect to represent each school district at the Capitol, we go down this path and it continues on for, I think next year will be the 12th year of this ridiculousness. This is the most ridiculous this year.
and this year was frustrating because we even had splits within our own 4 people that we have that make up, I think we end up having a dozen people between senators and reps that rep our district, but in reality it's 4 between Altoona and then Pleasant Hill have 2 each. But even they went interesting ways at different times. I know Mr. Losi voted against the charter bills. And then with the mask requirements at the end of the year that, some of us were frustrated with, Mr. Bolton voted for that. So it was kind of an interesting, they didn't even follow their normal political pathways. So it's chaos, but I wish they'd understand what districts actually look like as opposed to thinking we're all 700 kids in the middle of nowhere. So just for the public record.
I don't disagree.
All right, any more commentary? All right, so we'll get a survey and then go from there. Great. Let's go to 3D, the photography contract.
Questions? Anybody have any questions? I think we're in our current, we've 5 years. We did this 5 years ago, so we're just kind of think it's maybe time to just look and make sure we're staying competitive with technology and.
Have you had any issues of any kind with?
Well, it's kind of one of those things. I don't know if you can make everybody happy
Right.
all the
Mhm.
time and that
Right.
sort of thing. I just think after five years, it's time to at least take a look and see what people bring to the table and what our options are there.
Now, does Sherry Lynn just do us, or do they do other area districts as well? Or do we know?
I think Sherry probably stays pretty busy just locally with youth stuff. I don't know for sure though. So.
Well, I'm glad you're using a local person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I also think, because I can't remember now, it's been 5 years ago, but there were questions about process. And so I'm glad we've got a process to follow, and that what I was getting in my ear, it was about, hey, shouldn't this, and I don't even know what kind of money it is as I'm sitting here, but I know it's a significant thing, and I'm glad that I think she does a great job, always has, and she's local. That's all plus, but I think it's a good idea to, like we would any other major contract, we
And we'll put
follow a
a
process. put it up.
committee together of coaches and sponsors to go ahead and be a part of that, to take a look at that and have some input.
Have you or any of your sponsors, if there was something negative or something you get done, is she pretty good about following up? Pretty good about, so service is pretty good.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's one of the things nice about having a local person. I mean,
Yep.
all my years of being an AD, sometimes just shake your head, things you were promised you never got, things like that. I want to get into it. I just think if, like Gary says, you need to look at everybody, but when it gets down to it, if you can choose a local person that and have a history with, that's got to be a plus. But
And she does a lot of
you
help
Things
things
extra.
for that, like when we have a student that doesn't have senior pictures or the ability
Oh,
to
she
have.
does? Wow.
She does lots of other things that aren't,
Wow.
and doesn't seek admiration
Right.
for or appreciation for. She helps all the kids in the community, depending on the need and et cetera.
I didn't know that. It's nice.
Any other
Thanks for the
questions?
update.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And finally, school picture and yearbook services.
Last year was our first year we transitioned to Jostens services for our school pictures and for yearbooks. They've done a fantastic job. I asked the question of our building secretaries who've dealt with them the most. They had a couple of things that I'll talk to our sponsors about, our representatives about, but for the most part, they've great remarks about them, great comments about them. So I'd like to extend their contract with Jostens for probably looking at 3 years to want to keep on doing this. But I don't know if you've heard anything as a board. I know yearbooks have turned out great. Yearbooks came out a little bit late. I think it was last week of school. I know there was some
Mhm.
production process with that was kind of delaying that. But as far as the pictures themselves and the service provided, and the customer service that Tim and Zoe Robson provided, it was great when it came to building secretaries and dealing with those groups. So
This last year was the first year they
Correct.
had it. Before that, it was Light Touch.
it was a different.
And then
vendor,
we were
correct.
doing spring pictures and different kind of stuff.
There's
catching
different
more
things.
fun.
There's quite a bit of challenges with the yearbooks as well. We had and some of it was pandemic related, some was not.
Right.
But there was not satisfaction with that particular vendor. Yes.
Okay. That's my only question.
It seemed like there was quite a delay in the yearbooks.
For this year.
Previously, not this year.
From
Yeah,
the
last
last-
year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there
You know,
was a
I can't
considerable.
speak for anyone else, but I think our pictures turned out well in the yearbooks. The only downside is that the junior high
You
meetings
see it?
happening after those are addressed. Miss some activities, but I don't know how you get that all done. within
Yeah.
that window. So,
They've got to be printed in time for the kids
Exactly.
before they leave. So
I would hope that we're communicating with the yearbook sponsor to make sure that
absolutely,
if they're happy or not happy.
absolutely.
Because that's what they do. That's what everybody expects them to be published at a certain time. And
Correct.
things are out of control. That's understandable. But Jocelyn's did a good job with the Des Moines district for years and years and years, but they still have to produce.
Anything else for Mr. Riccon?
Nope.
All right, well, that's our agenda for today.
Motion to adjourn.
Good job, President
Give me a
Crab,
second.
Vice President Crab. Second.
All right.